Welcome to Kingdom Discipleship. So this is one of my favorite subject, discipleship, because it is a key subject for seeing what God can do and what He will do in history through His people. So we live in a day of cultural chaos, cultural confusion, and people don't know which direction to take because so many issues, so many problems, and God's people are supposed to have the answer. But unfortunately, God has a little difficulty getting His people to fully follow Him in every area of life. And therefore, they miss out on the authority Jesus that Jesus wants to give them. So God's disciple or a kingdom disciple is a Christian that has decided that coming under the rule of Jesus Christ is to take superiority over all other area of their lives. So when that begins to happen, they will be able to exercise the authority that God's kingdom was meant to give to us. So I want you to put your seatbelt on, relax, and enjoy your time studying the kingdom discipleship. And I think it will challenge you, it will encourage you, and it will expand your learning to what it means to be a full-time Christian and not a part-time saint. So in this module, we want to talk about the concept and concern of kingdom discipleship. So Jesus called a meeting in Matthew 28. It is a meeting, and it was a meeting of his followers, and it's called kingdom discipleship. It's called the Great Commission. So there's 5 commissions in the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Acts. But Matthew is called the Great Commission because it is one commission that uses the word mathetes. Mathetes in Greek, which means make disciples. It is not a request, it is a command. So it is a big of a command because Jesus says, I want this issue of discipleship to affect all the nations. But I want you to notice something in this call to discipleship that Jesus makes. Jesus connected it to his authority. So all authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Make disciples. That's what he said. So he makes a direct connection between the discipleship and his authority. And this is why we call this course a kingdom disciples, because Jesus claims rulership, not only in heaven but on earth, not only in eternity but also in history. And Jesus says, I want you to make people, and I want you to be a person that completely operate under me and then influence others to become people who operate under my authority. And the process for doing that is called discipleship. So what is discipleship? Discipleship is a progressive process of learning what it means to live all our life, all aspect of our life under the God's rule and under the lordship of Jesus Christ. That there should be no area in your life where Jesus would not be exerting influence and where Jesus would not be the final decision maker for our decision in every area of our lives. Therefore, your personal life, family life, church life, and community life. And so Jesus calls us to make disciples. And discipleship is bigger than making Christian. Because becoming a Christian means you go to heaven, but becoming a disciple means heaven comes down to you. Becoming a Christian means you have your eternal destiny is set, but becoming a disciple means heaven enters time and works through your life for influence and impact. And so Jesus says, I want you to do 3 things. I want you to go. That means don't stay. That is, Jesus wants you to be a public witness, a public testimony, testifier, a public witness for Him. So don't be ashamed to be identified with Jesus because you're willing to be exposed as a Christian. Then Jesus says, baptize them. That means identify yourself with me, so much so that when you go down in the water and become wet, you come up as a new person so that you can walk differently, you walk differently, talk differently, think differently, and act differently, because Jesus now is the dominant influencer in your life and over your life. And then Jesus says, teach them. He's not just talking about teaching doctrine, but he's talking about teaching by observation. So teach them to observe whatever I have commanded you. In other words, it means to apply what you learn. So application. You see, making disciples has to do with what people are now applying, not simply what people are learning. And because if you are not applying what you've learned, then what you learn is really not changing you. What you learn is not really transforming you if you are not applying it to your life. So he says, teach them to observe. And then Jesus says, and I will be with you always, even until the end of the earth. That's because Jesus does not have an equal relationship with every believer, okay? It says in St. John chapter 2, verse 23 to 25, it says, many believe on Christ, but Jesus would not commit himself to them because he knew that what was in them. Jesus knew that they're not ready yet. So Christ knew that they were not fully committed, even though they already had become a Christian. So Jesus will limit the exercise of his authority that he gives to you, okay, until we are willing to follow him, which means that you have to put him first. Matthew 6:33 says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So we must learn how to put the kingdom first, to put the kingdom, to put it in our priority, and everything else has to line up behind it. You see, God can do some things, okay? God cannot do some things. He cannot sin, and neither he cannot be second. So he wants you to choose him first, follow him first, obey him first. And when you do that, he will transfer kingdom authority to you as you become a disciple and as you are making disciples and impacting not only individuals but your environment and system, because he says impact the nations. So God bless you richly as you become a kingdom disciples and as you cause others to pursue being a kingdom disciples too, and enjoy to exercise the kingdom authority when you do so. God bless you.